Let's bring in Nationals leader David Littleproud now. David, Happy New Year to you. How did you ring in the new year?
Pretty boring, mate. Happy New Year. I was in bed by 10. Showing my age now, I only enjoyed the blanket show last night, so hangovers hurt too much for me. So I did it the easy way, I suppose you'd say.
Well, the 9 a.m. fireworks are still pretty good, right? Okay, so Woolworths are going to stock Australia Day flags in stores, but will sell other Australia Day themed merchandise online. This is after announcing they wouldn't stock any Australia Day merchandise last year. What's your reaction?
Well, they've learnt the hard way. They've learnt that they don't set the moral compass of this country. Australians do. And Australians don't like being told what to do by big corporates, by 12 board of directors telling Australians how they should live. We are proud of this country. We are proud of what we've achieved. We're prepared and mature enough to face up to the mistakes we've made in the past. But we can't change history. You can't change where our country came from and what happened over those 220 plus years. What we have done has been mature enough to face up to those mistakes, right those wrongs, but we are better having been together. And I think what Woolworths has found out the hard way, whether it was initially through the Voice and their support of the Voice referendum, but them trying to tell us that we should be ashamed to be Australians because they didn't want to sell Australian product celebrating Australia Day, speaks more about them than it does about our country. And I think they've learnt the hard way. I think this should put an end and underline that Australia Day is not going to change. It's going to stay where it is. We can't change history. We should face up to the mistakes we made, but we should also face up and be very proud of the country that we've created. And that's because we've stuck together, and by us sticking together into the future, Australia will be even greater. And I think it's time for us to put our chin up and our chest out. And those that want to continue to denigrate our country and about some of our past, then let them do that. That's the beauty of living in democracy. But the majority of us just want to get on and celebrate our great country. Australia Day won't change, and that's got bipartisan support. So let's just get on with it. And let's let those that want to continue to hold on to the past and the anger of the past to wallow there. The rest of us want to continue to create the greatest country on earth that we've already done and build on those foundation blocks our forefathers have created.
There's lots of changes coming into effect in 2025, and some of them are going to be hitting the hip pocket. We'll go through a couple of them. Let's start with the vehicle efficiency standard that is expected to increase the price of some cars from July 1, mostly big four-wheel drives and large SUVs. People living in the regions and farms will love that one.
Yeah, look, everyone thinks this is some kumbaya moment. The government's bringing vehicle emission standards, and what they're saying is they expect every Australian, bar about 1 or 2% of us, to be driving EVs by 2050, which is nonsense. In regional Australia, you can't do that. But to get there, what Australians haven't realised is that this year, to incentivise you in a perverse way, they're going to put a tax on the purchase price of a vehicle you buy at your dealer. So it's not just the big four-wheel drives. The most popular selling vehicle in Australia, the Ford Everest, will go up by $6,000 in purchase price this year, going up to $18,000 as it phases in, and then a RAV4, which is a tool of trade for mum and dads in the suburbs, because you need a little SUV to put a pram in the back to be able to get the groceries with the kids in the car seats in the back seat. That's going up by nearly $3,000, going up by over $11,000 over this phase-in period. So this is a tax that you're going to pay on the purchase price of a new vehicle because of the ideology of Anthony Albanese wanting to tell us how we should live and the emissions that we shouldn't be able to put out of a car. Now, I think there's time and technology will solve this. We don't need to do this by 2030. We can do this by 2050. And manufacturers are already signed up to that, but you'll pay. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. You look at other things like the Scope 3 emissions. What you've got to understand is the government is about to impose on Australian farmers their obligation to report their emissions profiles on their farms. They don't even have the tools to do it and being told how they should do it. So it's going to impose on the economy from Treasury themselves a $2.3 billion cost on Australian business to be able to report their emissions. That's something Joe Biden wouldn't even do, but someone's going to pay for that. Australian farmers are going to have to pass it on. So if you think not only is your car going to get more expensive, so too is your grocery bill.
Okay, David Littleproud, we're out of time, unfortunately, but thank you so much for coming on the program. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
You too. Happy New Year.